Usagi. Ooh, Usagi, and I am here with more Final Fantasy XIV. We are going to be finishing up the last two fights in Eden. Miss Q is not in Eden. I don't think she is anyway. And then we'll be moving on to Ruby Weapon. I believe it's going to be a bit of a short day. These last two, Ruby Weapon, and then I will do what role quests I have. I think I have 2 role quests to do. And then, yeah, it'll be a lot of crafting quests through the week if I do not get all my classes up to where they need to be by Tuesday. So, we will see. We might do crafting quests anyway. I do not know what Miss Q's work schedule is, but I do not want to move on without her. Where is Miss Q? Let me find her. She is in the Discord. Okay. Hello, Miss Q. Hello. Are you in the empty? Okay, good. I'm gonna talk to everybody. Poor Gaia. If the fairy lives inside her, why would it let her suffer like this? I wish there was something I could do to help. Ugh, just get it over with, would you? Pray be on thy guard, my friend. Gaia may yet relinquish control to the voice within. Thangrid is looking particularly chipper, despite the heavy rainfall. While this downpour is precisely the result we were hoping for, the novelty of standing outside in the rain does wear off rather quickly, not to mention Gaia's looking a bit under the weather. Let's continue this conversation in Eden's core. Tiny purple Lalafell. She's so cute. She's adorable. Yeah, it's metallic purple. Now that I think about it, I really don't know all that much about Eden. Since we need to find out how it's connected to Gaia, I should try to understand it at a deeper level. To be honest, there isn't much else I can do. I'm not sure what's going on with Gaia, but it's certainly a cause for concern. Perhaps this is the fairy making itself known. What does it want? Why won't it tell me? Ere we set forth to restore the element of ice, I would discuss the matter in which the summoning shall be undertaken. Just tell me one thing. Is this going to bring the empty back to the way it was before the flood? Well, while none can say for certain, the change we have observed at points of ethereal intersection doth give us cause for optimism. It may reasonably be assumed that the empty shall continue to transform, and in the decades to come, regain a semblance of its former state. Decades? I don't think you've quite grasped the sheer scale of the damage left in the wake of the flood. It would have swallowed the entire world if Minfilia had not stopped it. Even if Reen had inherited her blessing, wounds like that don't heal overnight. After all, the empty has been utterly devoid of life for 100 years. And it might take even longer to bring that life back. I don't expect immediate results, but I do know that it will stay like this forever unless we do something about it. My sentiments precisely. Only once the final element is restored shall we have a glimpse of the future that awaiteth those of generations yet to come. You do all this for a world you may not live long enough to see. While here I am so absorbed in my own problems that I spare barely a thought for anyone besides myself. For so long I've listened to that voice, telling me what to do, who to be. I was so scared of what might happen if I disobeyed. But I don't want to live like that anymore. I want to be me. Who am I? What am I? Perhaps it's better if I never find out. If Reen's the Oracle of Light, here to mend this broken world, what does that make me? Gaia, the Oracle of Darkness, bringer of misery and death, a monster. It's no wonder they left me. Mother, father, and next it'll be all of you. Then I'll be back to where I started, where I've always been, alone. Gaia, is it the fairy? What's wrong? Afraid I might lose control and ruin all your carefully laid plans? No, it's you I'm worried about. I'm going outside to clear my head. You do just what you need to do, alright? Something's wrong, I know it. That much is clear. If we have a repeat of her first visit to Eden, we may even be joined by those void-sent friends of hers. If you go and see what Guy is doing, Ariane and I will stay here with Reen. My name is Gaia. That's what you said, isn't it? Eden, the flood. What does it all mean? No, it can't be. Is this what it's been waiting for all this time? Finally, you remember. Ah! What is this? The darkness that dwells within you, Gaia. The accursed spawn of light are drawn to it, like moths to a flame, pathetic, mindless, and easily bent to my will. Sin Eaters? Now, the time of awakening has come. Ugh. Akali, Reen senses Sin Eaters. What's happened? Don't try to fight them. Just bring Gaia back inside. Quickly now. I think I need to just sit. It's probably too quiet because I made it quiet. There we go. What entity is this that should hold a horde of Sin Eaters in its thrall, and to what end? She is unconscious. She's in a bad way, but at least she doesn't seem to have lost control. What's happened to her? That's a concern for later. First we must deal with those Sin Eaters. Akali, if thou wouldst care to repel our assailants without, I would task Thancred with guarding within. I shall tend to Gaia meanwhile. Okay. Let's see if any friends are left. I don't know if Sue wants to come. Oh, she's not in the stream, so probably not. Okay. And it's just you and me. That's Okay. So what I'm going to have you do, and this is under the assumption that I can remember how to do this fight, is that when we get in there, you should click on me. You should right click on me. Absolutely, that is 100% the reason, Smiley. So you should click on me, and you should make me your focus target. That will put a little marker over my head so that I am easy to follow. Now I will try and explain
so many
how
of them, but nothing we can't handle.
I will try and explain what's happening as best as I can, but yeah, so you should be able to right click. You click on me, you should be able to right click. It says set focus target, yeah. But yeah, I will try and remember this to the best of my ability. Okay, so the tether is the tank thing. We want to move that away from everybody. As usual, a giant leap. If you get that, make sure to move it away. So you see these things in front of us? One is, they're both spinning at the same pace. The one's on the side, so we're going to stand here on this one, and then we're going to move into this one. So that's how that works. Now we have portals. Scoot up a little. You can tilt your camera a certain way. People are going to do it the cheeky way for this first one. So they're going into red first. So we want to be in front of blue, and then when red goes off, blue. Now there's also portals on the side, which will also have birds going there, in the same order that these front ones. So now we need to look behind us and to the sides. So red is going to be happening first. We want to be up and right here. Oh, I lied super. But we're good. Now we wait for red to go off behind us, and now we back up. Sorry, I made a mistake. I didn't consider the ones to the side. Okay, don't worry about this. Whatever happens, don't point it off the edge. So just make sure it's not pointing off the edge and you will be fine. Yep, there you go. That's good. These are 2 stack markers, so we take them separately. And you come with me, Miss Q? Oh, you chose that. Buster. Okay, so every time we want to get hit by the same... No. Opposite color. Okay. Yes, opposite color. I simply could not remember. So now it's changing. And so now if you were white, you are now blue. I was trying to read. There was the dialogue for that text was insane. Okay, so now you throw on your tank skins and grab this one, and you want to bring them together so that so they don't get stronger together. same thing again. Just make sure you are not pointing off the edge, but stay inside first. Then run onto the surface. People are going to kill me. Invuln if you have to. Woo! Oh. I know, you should have invuln. You know what's that? I did a benediction on you. And, it took my benediction, but did not heal. Alright, so this will be purple and blue again with the red and blue borders. We're the same color, so follow me. Alright, we want a purple one, and purple's going to hit, okay. We did it right. Okay, purple again. No, I remember now. So we wanted to be, with the purple portal coming through the red, we wanted to be hit by red twice. Or no, we wanted to be hit by red and then blue. Face your thing so you go into a portal. Yep. Into this. Yeah, so we wanted to make sure that we were going to get hit by a red and then a blue, which we did. By accident. Oh man, it actually was not that bad in Savage, but the normal version, the first time I did it, made me want to like cry, because I could not comprehend what was happening, or why it was happening. And like, the explanation I was being given was so long and tedious, and I was like, just explain it to me easier than this, I don't need the math behind it. I had someone in my static who was super very said, well, I get it. Okay, congrats to you. I don't. So, blue's going first. You want to be over here by red. I got hit, and I don't think that's... I'm just trying to take this. Yeah. I started looking at that too late. Stay out of that, because the Dragoon's about to kill us. Yep. Well, we are, but the Dragoon double stacks. They put their marker too close to the other stack, plus you are better off just letting those people die. Okay, this time I get it. I will be fine. You're purple, we want a white. So white's going through blue, and we want to stand on a red thing. We want to be. Okay. Easy. Easy game. And then make sure we stand in white. End of your thing is going to go into one of Does that make sense though? I can explain it better once everybody's on. I know, they were a good healer. So you... I don't need hats either. I need the chest piece. I need the pants. I still need jewelry. Need that. Yeah, you should, okay, you'll probably win them both. That, the Dragoon and Healer took... Yeah, the Dragoon and Healer took everything. I won, I think, one thing. I won the pants. Not both pants, just the one. It's rough. Uh-oh. Conjured. The interior is secure. With the Eaters gone, I thought Gaia might show some sign of improvement, but she hasn't so much as stirred. Sin Eater's drawn to the Oracle of Darkness, just as she herself was drawn to Eden, first and foremost among their kind. She's still unconscious. She won't wake up. What do we do? What is this place? Where is everyone? So I'm all alone. Even the fairy is gone. Endless silence, endless darkness. Is this what death feels like? It's no use. No one can hear me. How ironic. All those times I wanted peace and quiet, and now that I finally have it, I wish I had someone to talk to. I thought I couldn't stand to be around them. All their infuriating and fussing, and yet I was never lonely. But it's no use. Even after everything we went through, my memories still won't come back. There's no future awaiting me, only emptiness. Those memories, they can stay lost forever if only this pain will leave me. Now I close my eyes and sink into darkness. And then I'll suffer no more. Gaia! Mother, Father, wake up! I understand now. Why wait for tomorrow to claim us? Gaia, can you hear me? The perfect moment never has to end. I'm not giving up on you, Gaia. Say something. What do you want? Please, I'm begging you. Remember all the things we said we'd do? Like going to the second serving for coffee biscuits. Gaia never said she was going to do that. I never... There we go. Gaia? I never agreed to anything of the sort. Oh, thank goodness. I was worried about you. Ugh, do you have to be so loud? The fairy fell silent, only to be replaced by Reen's voice ringing through my head. I never thought I would be so glad to hear it. Whatever that thing was, it was able to control a vast swarm of sin eaters, much like Vothri. And again, it's clearly nothing like a Light Warden. In any case, it's gone now. I just hope it stays gone. We still don't know exactly what happened, but at least the danger's past for now. Though Gaia hath regained consciousness, I surmise that it shall be some time before she is fully recovered from her ordeal. Gaia's recent ordeals have left her rather more subdued than usual. You've all gone through a lot of trouble on my part. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. Anyway, I've delayed you for long enough. Please carry on with what it was you came to do. Memories of ice. I'm glad you're back to your usual self, but how are you feeling? Much better now, but something is still bothering me. The fairy spoke to me in a dream, and a stream of memories rushed through my mind. I don't recall anything like this happening before, and I'm not sure what it all means. What sort of memories? I can't make any sense of them. They were only brief flashes, seen through someone else's eyes. At least, that's what it felt like. Minfilia, that is, the first Oracle of Light, once served Hydaelyn as the word of the Mother. If the Oracle of Darkness is her counterpart, under Zodiark, then we had best prepare ourselves for the worst. Aye, the Knight's return did tip the ethereal balance towards activity, which may have served to awaken the fragment of his power in the first. Having thus roused, he did this, then fix his gaze upon she who had been marked by darkness, Gaia. Marked or no, Gaia's still her own person. Is everything all right? It's nothing. Anyway, let's forget about all that for now. There'll be plenty of time to think it through once the last element's restored. If thou believest thou well enough, then I see no reason to delay. Let us forthwith attend to the revitalization of ice. Shiva, then, Akali. As the only one here to have actually seen the primal, perhaps you could describe her for us. Oh, these are both good. A woman named Ysael made herself a vessel for Shiva. So she summoned into her body the imagined essence of someone who lived over 1,000 years ago? That such a thing should be possible. The long since departed Shiva was the source of great inspiration to Ysael, whose method of summoning differed greatly from any we had previously encountered. But the echo did she bear witness to the deeds of the noble Shiva, and thus was she moved to dedicate her being to the self-same cause. 'Twas this devotion that granted her the power of a primal. So she was able to control it herself. Not getting any funny ideas, are you? Just thinking aloud, that's all. Anyway, we'd better get going. Our journey leadeth to a great glacier situated in the northernmost region of the Empty. I'll get us there as quickly as I can. It's time to draw out the Aether. I was thinking. That I should go with you this time. I want to be the vessel for Shiva. Being still and passive by nature, ice is the element that is most strongly aligned to light. I'll need to get close and use my own abilities as well as Eden's to draw it out, so that the Oracle of Light becometh the Oracle of Ice. I cannot claim to be in favor of this stratagem, and yet the primal we encountered in the source was summoned in much the same manner. The inherent advantages are undeniable. Absolutely out of the question. Have you forgotten what Akali does to primals we summon? I'm not about to stand by and watch as she and Reen beat the tar out of each other. In any case, the Aether only returns to the empty once the creature's been slain, although it seems you haven't taken that into consideration yet. Presumably there's a way to disperse it, but it's still far too risky. I thought you had more sensory. But it's not as bad as it sounds. Were the demiform entity as volatile as the primals we have previously summoned, it would be logical to assume that in her role as conduit, Reen would be hard-pressed to retain control. Akali would have no recourse but to defend herself by any means necessary, else her life be forfeit. I know it's dangerous, but I can't let that hold me back. Please, I've got to try. But I don't see why this is even necessary in the first place. You never had to take risks like this for the other elements. Eden possesses almost infinite power, but what would happen if it began acting without my intervention? If I started to feed on the Aether just like the other simulators, it would undo all of our hard work. 'Tis a disconcerting eventuality, and one which cannot be dismissed. I'm worried that even if we realign the elements, things will eventually return to how they were following the flood. Even if I train Eden how to nurture the environment rather than drain the life from it, we can leave it to take care of the empty in our place. I'll channel the Aether through myself and show Eden how it's done. This isn't some house pet we're dealing with. If all goes wrong, then what? I know this all sounds like I'm taking a leap of faith, but it has been a gamble every step of the way. We've managed to come this far because of faith in ourselves and each other. Ugh, I've made my feelings on the matter perfectly clear, but what say you, Akali? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a good idea and 1 being a bad idea, what kind of idea do you think this one is, Q? It's a super bad idea. And hello, Varkin. With my memories to guide this opening, what could possibly go wrong? I have been doing it perfect every time. Every time. 10 out of 10 summoning. Reed, I suppose that if you've got your heart set on us, there's no point trying to dissuade you. Just don't do anything reckless, is that clear? As crystal. This is going to work, I promise. I'll make sure of it. Well, for all my sakes, I certainly hope so, because if the primal takes over, it'll be fine. With all of you by my side, I know that whatever happens, I'll work out in the end. All of us. I hope you're not including me. I can't even deal with my own problems, never mind yours. It's enough just knowing you're here. Anyway, I decided to take a leaf out of your book. I do what I want, when I want. I've made my decision, so now I have to see it through. Yes, but this is a different kettle of fish altogether. Well, the point is this is what I want, and I'll do whatever it takes to make it work. So, this is how much it means to you. Memories of Shiva envelop your mind. I don't know how, but I can see her too. This might actually work. Okay. So she wants to do Shiva because it's the closest. It'll be the closest reenactment to the memory that we have of Shiva. Also, she wants to show. The concern is that Eden, because of its nature, will eventually start draining the land that it's the Aether that it's putting back out into the world. So she wants to show Eden that you don't just absorb, you have to let Aether pass through you, which is how she's going to do the summoning. To teach Eden how to do it. And that's why Gaia was like, this is not a pet you can train. But Eden is a living creature. It is a senior. So he probably can be trained. But yeah, she's like, if I show Eden how to pass Aether through me, it'll learn how to pass it through itself and not just absorb. That is the plan. Make sense? Oh. Well, I'm gonna keep this. Did you want to come for for E as normal soup? Or E8? Are you posing over there? Man, I'm so sad I didn't win like I may get my pants, which is the more important. Yeah, go. Run. Womp. That's okay. You'll be alright for this one. I'm 472, and the min is 455. So we've come a long way by upgrading our weapons and stuff. I don't know if you remember this name.
Upon the power of Shiva.
This is the exact pose and stuff that Ysayle did. Do you remember? So the funny thing about this Shiva is that she looks more like Ysayle.
She's lost control! You've got to stop her!
It's like Ysayle's coat and hair.
Fools, you would stoke the fires of conflict.
It's like Ysayle's lines in there. It's really good. It's the good shit.
The light shall usher in peace.
Okay, so she's gonna transform. We need to look away. And now she looks like hiding.
Such impudence!
In. Under her.
Resplendent ice.
We don't have to look away
Grant
from
me
this one.
strength.
It's only when she's turning into hiding. This will make the floor glass, I think. Ice, do not move.
Shatter.
Driving is forward, so we need to go. You don't move. Double slap as a tank buster. Sorry.
Your blood shall freeze.
Diamond Frost is going to be a little crazy. Throw tank, mitigation on if you need to, because people are going to clip you. You're good. So green mirrors are always going to reflect the attack that she does next.
shatter.
Fighting? The fighting is behind. So we want to be all the way back here.
The light shall usher in peace.
Take away once that finishes. Okay.
Such impudence!
Axe is out all the way out. You want to get pretty far. I don't know if you'll recognize any of this, but it's real good.
Tranquility must be restored to the land.
And thus did she sunder the world in 10 and 3 reflections. Alright, so this is just ad phase. There's gonna be tethers and stuff for you to take, but just destroy ads. That's the most important. You can stun aqueous, like the little water ages, if they are getting too close to the edge. Because for every ad that goes in, that's it. And if we do it perfectly, we get a buff, but we fail stuff. Aww.
Darkness, speak up!
This is fake, so stay in the middle. You can tell by the amount of lights above her head. If it's 4 balls above her head, it's always a lie and she's gonna do the opposite. If it's 1, then it's
Light consume you!
What's happening here is there's gonna be pads on the floor. There will be little, like, bars on them to say how many people should be in them. If you have a tether, do not put that in the center. Just stand between them. Now each of these will need 2. The tethers, you need to, no, don't go in, don't go in. Because you had a thing, you need to be between them. So it's 4, and people need to sit down. We have mirrors again.
Such impudence!
Oh, sorry. So stay in and then go straight to a mirror. Run. Go all the way to a mirror. Yep.
Resplendent ice, grant me strength.
She's gonna turn the path to ice. Don't move.
The light shall usher in.
And now turn away without moving. Okay, now we can move again. Oh, I looked back. Let's see, I disappeared. I thought it happened at the same time. That's my bad. Oh, are you mean to? Yeah, okay.
The light! It's too much for her to bear! Ugh, she won't last much longer! Enough of this! Power of darkness, answer my call! Ugh! Ugh! Yeah! Damn this light! Damn it all!
DPS your little heart out. Big numbies.
I won't give up!
Because it is a wife if we fail.
Not on
But
my
we have
future.
lots of time.
Our future. I want to see what tomorrow will bring.
Sure. Good luck on Loreen. Oh, I need so much. I will at least get pants. Which is pretty big. I won the jewelry, so. And I got pants. Yeah, so if you do this fight 4 times, and you have 1,000 tomes, you can get a weapon. But that's why I just bought us the crafted weapons. You can throw the blade out. You were there. I heard you. What happened to Shiva? Is she still in control? No, she's gone. But Gaia... What? That hammer. It matches your dress. Huh! I see you're back to your normal, idiotic self. Look, isn't it pretty? Maybe we could take it with us. Ice tends to melt, you know. Not this sort. Well, if you say so. Anyway, it might even make a nice necklace. That's a brilliant idea. Wilt thou not rush to her aid? Perhaps I'm getting slow in my old age, because it seemed Gaia's beaten me to it. To think that she would be the one to break the ice. They may have gotten off to a rocky start, but I think they'll make quite the pair. Is that a hint of melancholy I detect in thy voice? Something akin to a pining mother bird whose chicks have flown the nest. Father Bird, if you don't mind, but you're not entirely wrong. Still, when the day finally comes to say goodbye, it heartens me to know she won't be alone. After that, we can go to the second serving for coffee biscuits! Fine, you win, and if they're anything less than perfection itself, I will never let you live it down. If they're not to your liking, there are plenty of other things to try. I suppose we both deserve a little treat after all that hard work. We certainly do! There we were, laughing as we had not a care in the world, fleeting though it was in that moment. I was content. But my life was never meant to be so simple. I've had my share of close shaves, but that was terrifying, to put it mildly. I can only hope the end justifies the mean. I let myself get a little carried away there, but I was definitely the one controlling my powers, not the other way around. Even so, I hope I never have to use them again. Ice, being the most naturally aligned to light among all elements, did interact with Reen's innate gifts in a way unforeseen. Were we not graced with the timely appearance of the Oracle of Darkness, I fear this tale would have ended somewhat prematurely. I'm so sorry, everyone. I clearly have a long way to go before I can handle that kind of power. But we achieved what we set out to do, as I had faith we would. So without further ado, let's return to camp and admire our work. It's life. Feels like I'm witnessing the miracle performed by Minfilia 100 years ago all over again. The rapid propagation of flora appears to be limited to the intersections of ethereal channels, as per our earlier findings. Nonetheless, 'tis cause to rejoice that the seeds of Aether have quickened in the barren garden that is the Empty. All this greenery, it's far more than I dared to hope. I can't help but worry that it's too good to be true. Reen is ecstatic to see the first signs of greenery in the Empty. I can feel all of the revitalized elements working in harmony. I've always believed Eden had the power to restore the Empty, but I never expected it to happen so quickly. You're the one who made all of this possible. We ran into a few problems with Shiva, to say the least, but the others all went more or less according to plan. That we were able to come so far along this arduous journey may rightly be attributed to thy unwavering resolve. Aye, when you said that we'd reclaim this world, you truly meant it. We're proud of you, Reen. I wonder if the effects of the rebalanced Aether will spread to the rest of the Empty. Perhaps we'll just have to wait and see. Besides, I'm sure we could all do with another rest. I must say, it's refreshing to see you take a more measured approach for a change. She just wants to have coffee biscuits so badly. Well, if my experience here has taught me anything, it's that I shouldn't rush into things unprepared. And I've also learned that there are some problems that can't be solved alone. Is that so? Since you freed me from Yulmore, I've met all sorts of kind of people who've gone out of their way to help me. I thought that I should do everything in my power to repay their kindness and make the world a better place. But now, more than ever, I realize there's a limit to what I can achieve by myself. Even though I was able to summon Shiva, I couldn't control such vast amounts of aether. If Gaia hadn't been there for me, I might have never returned to normal. I could say the same about you. I was trapped in a nightmare, but you freed me. It seems we're more alike than I thought. We might not be able to do everything by ourselves, but if we look out for each other, then we can face our problems together. That's if you don't mind. No, it's fine, really. If things don't work out, we can always go our separate ways. But on the other hand, if I can resist the urge to punch you whenever you annoy me, which I must say is quite often, I have no objections to staying around. You mean it? Thank you, Gaia. May I suggest we continue this conversation en meringue? Though the empty now supporteth foliage, the land's normalization hath but begun to linger over long, still entaileth risks. Is aught the matter, Thangred? Nothing you need to worry about. Let's go. To think that Reen is still the same girl I rescued from Yulmore. Compared to the way she was back then, the difference is like night and day. Our encampment remaineth in its present state for our anticipated return. I cannot help but wonder how the land may change in our absence. Off to Mordsuk, are we? Can't say I care for the place. The marketplace reminds me of Yulmore, but instead of fine delicacies, they peddle... Well, I don't know what they are exactly. What I do know is they're far too wiggly, even for my liking. Before we do anything else, we should report to Yalfort. He'll want to know how we've been getting on in the empty. Speaking of Mordsuk, there was a snack of some sort that caught my eye last time. I can't quite describe it, but it looks squidgy. Despite a strong suspicion that I may leave to regret it, I'd like to try one. Oh, I think I know the one you mean. They might not be much to look at, but I bet they taste amazing. Perhaps we'd also try a pot of those jellied wrigglers or whatever they're called. I'll even let you take the first bite. Ew, no thank you. First coffee biscuits and now worms and jelly. Heavens forbid the two of you might actually eat some proper food. Akali, may I ask a favor of thee? While Thancred and I return to the Crystarium to inform our comrades of our recent exploits, I would have thee accompany Reen and Gaia to Mordsuk. I'm just gonna... There she go. It's just gonna teleport there. Easy peasy. I'm prepared to give this Mord fair a try, although I should probably shut my eyes when I do, and my nose, come to think of it. I'm looking forward to showing Gaia around the Crystarium, but we'd better finish our work here first. I trust all is well, Miss Gaia? It will be once we get out of this desert town. If I have to spend another night in that dingy little room, I shall scream. I'm terribly sorry to hear that the accommodation was less than satisfactory. I'll investigate the availability of more comfortable lodgings post-haste. Yes, I think we'll be staying in Mordsuk, at least for the time being. It might take a while for me to write a report, as our expedition was rather eventful. Akali, I really appreciate everything you've done, and I'm sorry for all the trouble I've put you through. Still fretting about that, are you? What's done is done. Besides, It all worked out in the end, didn't it? You're right. Now how about that treat we promised ourselves? They might not have coffee biscuits here, but I've heard the regular cakes are to die for. Or what was that? You'll die from eating them. Well, only one way to find out, I guess. I'm sure trying the local delicacies will keep us occupied between writing reports and thinking about the next plan of action. Hopefully we'll have another chance to visit the Empty to see how things are coming along. And don't even think about leaving me behind. I don't know when you're supposed to do this particular quest. I think we'll do this one just before we come back to 5.3. But for now, let us do the ruby. That will be in element of surprise. I don't know. Maybe ice. We want to go to Porsche. You'll take my teleport, so it doesn't matter. Oh, I don't think you can actually. Porsche Pretoria. Because we're now in a party like this. If I were a fish. Oh, no, we need to go to the Ellen Meeting Quarter. We don't need to fly. We just need to go to the Ellen Meeting Quarter. Do you remember when Kyle was like, well, make sure you don't forget about this ruby problem. The Garleans are making new weapons. I saw the car squeeze through the tiniest back alley. The Resistance and Alliance forces prepare in earnest as a new threat looms on the horizon. Ah, Kali, glad you can make it. As you may have heard, Commander Alden has given orders to embark the Alliance headquarters to hold back the advance of the Empire's latest menace. Not that the soldiers stationed there are too chuffed about being on the front line against these new weapons. If they're designed to slay primals, they'd make short work of us mere mortals as well. Mind you, it's Gaius Belsar and his followers who've led the charge so far. By all accounts, they've been giving as good as they get. Unfortunately, their soirees have met with little success. I dare say they'd benefit greatly from your presence on the battlefield. If you're ready, my colleague over at Porsche Pretoria will show you the way. Now we go to Porsche Pretoria. On your way to headquarters, I take it. Yes. So your mind is set. Then I shall appraise you of the situation. We have discovered that the previously abandoned Ultima Weapon project is being helmed by the reformed 7th Legion. They have already succeeded in producing several prototypes, one of which is set to be deployed on the Eorzean front. Its name, the Ruby Weapon. Severia and I were able to get within striking distance during one of its test runs and made an attempt to destroy it. An attempt that ended in failure, alas. Based on our knowledge of the original Ultima Weapon, the explosives we employed should have been sufficient to blast through its armor plating, but they barely left a mark. We suspect the gifts of its predecessor may have proven its source of resilience. As you well know, the Ultima weapon was designed to absorb aether from icons, and the ruby weapon no doubt shares that ability. If any were summoned during the uprisings in Garlemald's occupied territories, and therefore consumed, our enemy would become all the more formidable. But its near impenetrable armor was only the beginning of our troubles. It fought back with whip-like claws that can be extended, contracted at will. In the face of such opposition, we were forced to withdraw. Gaius was injured shielding me from the ruby weapon's assault. Even now he struggles to stand. Damn it all. If I hadn't been so careless, this wouldn't have happened. You need not concern yourself. Let us not forget that I am the one who initiated the Ultima Weapon project. If I must give my life to bury this shameful legacy, then so be it. If you were to face it as you are now, you'd be cut down before you even hobbled within the firing distance. In any case, we can't afford to lose the information in your head, or both the foe we face and the Empire itself. We all know that asking for Akali's assistance presents our best chance of stopping the War Mechana. 'Tis true that if anyone were capable of putting down such a monstrosity, it would be her. Though I have no right to ask this of you, will you lend us your strength? I do this for Eorzea. You have my thanks. And mine, though I must impress upon the urgency of our situation. We have received word that the Empire is preparing to advance on Gimholt Dark. That is where we will intercept them. If our fears are proven correct, the ruby weapon will be among their host. Should it break through our lines, there is no telling the devastation it will wreak. Make no mistake, the very survival of Eorzea hangs in the balance. Once you have steeled yourself for battle ahead, your escort will lead the way. What price must the world pay for my hubris? Fucking tired. Fucking Gaius. Okay. Oh, we got a cutscene. Commencing ruby weapon activation sequence. All units stand by. Did you ever see the ruby weapon in Final Fantasy VII Rescue? Initiating synthetic aurosite system. Fusion successful. No signs of incompatibility. Awaiting your signal. Ruby weapon codename Darnus. Ready for launch. So when you started the ruby weapon fight in Final Fantasy VII, its arms would extend and instantly kill the two people on the right and left. Instantly. 9999999. So that's how you started the fight. Valduin has briefed me on our mission. I am to take you as far as our expected point of contact with the ruby weapon. Once we arrive, the rest is up to you, I'm afraid. Before we do this, we should actually go back to Umar and get our new clothes. We're just gonna get dressed and then we will go. I need new pants. And I also need a necklace and a bracelet. Dang, 480 ain't bad. That's nothing to sneeze at. What are you at? I wonder... Oh, I definitely don't have enough to do anything with that. Alright. I'll do a ready check. I have no memory of... This is a fight that I have even less knowledge of than any other. Like, I know how to do expert, and I can call expert pretty well. Could not tell you how this fight begins, ends, or... not a single thought in my head. It's not good. Yeah. It's not good. Yeah, you do go into every fight blind. I don't know. You've been doing really good. No, no. That was something that had gone wrong. Well, I guess we'll see. You'll see. I promise. Yeah, like Final Fantasy VII. It's very good. FFXIV means he's gonna... So back up, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Don't get too close. And then you're gonna want to get on the wiggles. I'm pretty sure you want to get on the wiggles. And stay on the wiggles, and you can go across them to get close. And get away from that. This will be the same thing, except this time we still want to be out. Oh no, this is okay. I know the secret to this, but it's impossible to tell you. Only that if you stand in me, I will never leave you this way. And we're only doing it once. It doesn't happen twice. So good. Should have moved. I thought I was safe. get all the way in. And there might be stack markers. Nope, just the go across. Well, I don't know. No, he did that. Okay. I have too much knowledge. It's hurt. So this time the flexi claws, you want to be on the spikes, on the wiggly bits this time? Nope. That's, I have forbidden knowledge. Oh fuck. Yeah, not the second one. That's why I got blown the fuck up. My knowledge is actually... my knowledge is actually... I thought there was one where you could stand on them. I know. No, I know things, but I just know other things. Too much knowledge. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it seems like that's not normal. Do you remember Neil Montgomery? She was in the coils with the helmet. She was in the armor. She was the one that dropped Meteor. She was the 7th, legatus of the 7th Imperial Legion that dropped Meteor. Not Meteor, but you know, the Meteor Project. Oh, it doesn't matter. You need to grab one of these heads. Oh, wait, this. My reason is I do what I want. I know. I have to take this. Good job, Summer. I wonder what happens in here. Oh, I'm hoping it's just a lot of food. You can also tell by nails, you see the big circle around her? It's, the arrow is in, which means front and back. Because like, there's some melee classes and stuff that have positionals. When it's like this, that means they're positional. Like, it doesn't matter. There are no positionals. Because she can't position. In the middle. Yeah, this way. Oh, we are probably gonna want to hide behind. Yep, hide behind the rock. Hide behind the rock. Hide behind the rock. Keep here. We need to catch these. It's like the angels. Probably should. One of them didn't get caught. So that was pretty much a replica of what we saw from Instane's perspective, except it had like more shape and like that was clearly Nail. This dude's just jumping around. Even from afar, your figure was unmistakable. As ever, an impressive display. Though, as I am sure you will concur, the ultimate weapon pales in comparison to this new monstrosity. If their research is allowed to continue, the next model will be Neon Unstoppable. With that in mind, the Alliance has enlisted the help of... Wait, I hear something. Here to sift through the remains of the ruby weapon, are you? Allie, what do you think you're doing? Allie. Father. It's been too long, Alphonse. And you too, Rex. Given that the Empire is proceeding with the weapon project and making inroads in with the Eorzea, I suppose it was only a matter of time until our paths crossed. It's wonderful to see you again, Father, although I can't say I think much of the company you've been keeping. I know a lot's happened, but I'm just glad you're alright. And now, you can come back to Garlemald with us. My days serving the Empire are over. Because you're suspected of assassinating Emperor Varys? Yeah, that would do it. But we all know you'd never do a thing like that. There must be a way to prove your innocence. Then everything can go back to the way it was. So he found you two shivering on the roadside when he was going through Werlet? Lucky for you, eh? If he hadn't, we'd probably be dead by now. As for us three, our parents all died in the epidemic. We'd still be begging on street corners if it weren't for him. No, not today. I just wish there was a way we could repay Lord Gaius for all the kindness he's shown us. He fights for the Empire, so we should too. That'll make him proud of us. I do things in patch order. So, we did second half Eden, Ruby. We'll do patch 5.3 in the second year. And Sapphire, and then... It keeps us on par with gear. You're saying we should join the army. I don't think that's such a good idea. Everyone in Werlet was scared of the Guardians. Why would we want to be like them? Lord Gaius is different. I know he is. You're right. He always says that the strong should lead the weak. Maybe that's why he took us in. Alright, if becoming a soldier is what it takes, I'll do it. Who's with me? Count me in. And maybe one day people will look up to us like we do Lord Gaius. Then it's settled. From now on, we're all brothers and sisters, fighting for the same cause. Brothers and sisters? And that would make Lord Gaius our father. Well, if he doesn't mind us calling him that, I suppose so. And that makes you our big brother, since you're the oldest. You'd better be nice to us, or I'm telling Father. Father, since you went away, a lot has changed in the Empire. For us, too. If we'd known that you were still out there, still alive, none of this would have happened. What do you mean? The truth is... If you must go, I will not stop you. But answer me this. Who is piloting the ruby weapon? We all know that Nail von Darnus has not returned from the dead. Who do you think? It was Melisandre. No, I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe you would let that happen. She was a sister to you, to all of you. We only want to finish what you started. And while we will never forget all you have done for us, the next time we meet, it shall be as enemies. Goodbye, Father. As for you, hero of Eorzea, you'll pay for what you did to Melisandre. I swear it. Yeah, that's really noble of him, to take in all the children of the families he destroyed. What a great guy. What an absolute hero. This should be a more negative interaction. But nah. Well, Gaius Van Belsar, we meet again. Come to see how your precious weapon project has been proceeding in your absence, have you? Sid should absolutely deck this motherfucker. You have come to collect the data on Ruby Weapon, correct? The pilot, Melisandre, should still be inside the cockpit. I will ask Valdine to escort you to the wreckage. All these interactions are really, really bizarre. Any idea who this Melisandre is? An imperial crony of his, perhaps? One of the orphans? Gaius always did have an eye for talent and a mind to nurture it. In fact, Livia Sasjunis was another protege of his. The one he was banging. He even took me under his wing when my father became obsessed with the Meteor Project. It's strange that I felt closer to Gaius than my own flesh and blood. Then, my father and countless others lost their lives in the Boja incident. Although he was acting under Emperor Solus's orders, he masterminded the whole thing. I begged him to reconsider, to put an end to this madness, but my words fell on deaf ears. That's when I returned to Gaius for support, but he was as much a pawn of the Emperor as my father, and refused to intervene. And when my turn came to serve, I defected and fled to Eorzea. I blamed Gaius as much as any of them, perhaps even more, for the barbaric acts carried out in the name of conquest. But when we met at the Praetorium, all the hatred that had been festering inside me seemed to fade away, and I remembered the man I once respected. Did you? I've run Praetorium like 300 times. To think the dreaded Black Wolf was a mere plaything of the Ascians, who left him broken and disgraced, having sent thousands of men to early graves. It's more than most could bear, and now the lives of the children he raised hang in the balance. Any personal grievances I have with Gaius can wait. I'd best gather what information I can on the ruby weapon, but I'll be back as soon as possible. Ooh, If Sid is as I remember him, it will not take long for him to finish investigating the remains of the ruby weapon. He never was one to waste time. My engineers are still in the field, but there's something I thought you should know right away. It's about the pilot. I'm not sure how to tell you this, but if Melenzia is dead, I only hope she was not made to suffer. Death would have been a kindness. In all my years, I've never seen such a perversion of science and nature. Her body was fused with the ruby weapon's core. Those last moments must have been spent in pure agony as her life's essence was drained from her. So she was sacrificed to power the infernal machine. I hope she didn't suffer. No, she suffered a lot. She suffered so much, actually. We must act quickly if we are to prevent the Empire from committing further atrocities. Akali, is there any other information you can share with us regarding the ruby weapon prior to its deactivation? Nail von Darnus. Did the latest mean that much to Massandia? From what I gather, it sounds as if data based on Nail's combat capabilities were used to override the pilot's consciousness after she was fused with the core. If this technology is perfected, and the Empire begins implanting the memories of renowned warriors such as the White Raven into its soldiers, the Alliance won't stand a chance. Is such a thing even possible? That's more or less how soul crystals work. Yes, it seems that such crystals are common in use throughout Eorzea, an ancient but effective means of passing on knowledge from one generation to the next. While it may bear some similarities, we won't know for certain until we've analyzed the wreckage of Ruby Weapon. It cannot be denied that combining combat data from an experienced soldier with the power of an icon has yielded remarkable results. But in doing so, the Empire has sunk to the very depths of depravity. This is beyond forgiveness. For once, I agree with you. Yet one question remains unanswered. How were they able to obtain data on someone who was supposedly killed prior to the calamity? That's what I'm trying to determine. There is one possibility I'd like to explore, but I'll need to carry out a more thorough investigation first. Severa will provide support while you are in the field. Not only is she extremely well versed in the latest Scarlian technology, there are few soldiers I would rather have watching my back. In the meantime, Valduin and I will follow the ruby weapon's tracks back to its point of origin. We will learn what we can of the weapon project and the manner in which Alphonse and the others are involved. Should we uncover anything of value, we will relay it to the troops stationed here. For now, I suggest you use this lull in Garlean activity to recuperate. Would I be correct in guessing that this belated reunion with those darling orphans of yours has stirred up memories of your time in Garlemald? Remember our agreement, Gaius. If you so much as think as returning to your Imperial Masters, I will kill you. Well. So you put down the ruby weapon. Gods, I wish I could have seen it. Not from too close, mind. I genuinely don't know what he's waiting for. Just fucking do it. Just take him out. But you better kill him in one shot. You better make it count. I suppose I should report news of your victory to the higher-ups. I realize you must have been through quite the ordeal, but can you give me a quick summary of the battle? You get back upstairs. There's an amazing cutscene you need to watch. I hear you skittering downstairs. So you get back up and you watch this cutscene. You watch this cutscene. You make it sound so easy. Yeah, there's gonna be a cutscene. I talked about this cutscene for months because I couldn't believe it was in Final Fantasy XIV. Make it sound so easy. From the way you tell it, everyone would think you're slaying brutes like that for a living. I'll put all of this into a report and leave the copy over there. Should you fancy a bit of light reading? Anyway, I expect you've got more pressing matters to take care of, like ongoing for a celebrity pint. If the Garleans pluck up the courage to come knocking again, we'll let you know. Until then, rest up. I was gonna have a chip, but I know I'll have to read in a second. Or maybe it's after Sapphire. Is it after Ruby or Sapphire? Now I don't remember. We should have told him the truth. He'd be able to help us, I know he would. That's exactly the problem, Allie. If he knew the true nature of the weapon project, he'd find some way to interfere. No. It's the one with the push-ups. We've come too far to back down now. I won't let Miss Landia's death be in vain. I'm thinking it's after Sapphire. No, that I have put some thought into it. Even if that means going against Father's wishes. Cheer up, Alphonse. We can go back to being one big happy family after we've dealt with those pesky Eorzeans. It'll just be like old times. If only it were that simple. There's no guarantee any of us will make it back alive. Excuse me, I think you're forgetting whose turn it is next. Oh, ye of little faith. With me at the helm of Sapphire Wathaben, it'll be over before you know it. Whatever happens, Rex, promise you'll come back to us. I couldn't bear to lose you, too. Do you notice? It's blue hair, green hair, white hair. Oh, it is after Sapphire. Damn it. It's definitely after Sapphire. I'm so disappointed. When you see this cutscene sometime next week, you'll understand why it was imperative. Why it was imperative that you see. It's after Sapphire. I had a bad feeling. I'm not gonna take that because you and me, we're Dunyan Rings. Oh, yeah, no story until I can get my classes up. Which, if it's not done by the end of the week, then if it's not done by like next Saturday, then we will press on without the extra stories. No, yeah, the weapon storyline is extremely bad. So, I bid you adieu, Miss Q. Goodbye. I will be doing role quests as the last part of stream. He's not in the Crystarium. God damn it. He's in Ilmeg. That part's after Emerald. That much I do remember. I have returneth. Soul Ol seems rather more pleased to entertain you than grandson. Exemplary timing, Akali. 'Twas not more than a moment ago that grandson returned, having at last obliged my humble request. Humble request my arse! This one's no better than a Yomorian aristocrat, so accustomed to making others do their bidding, I tell you. There's something off-putting about taking orders from a dog. Ere you continue and give me cause to reconsider aiding your hunt, perhaps you should ask your questions. Fine. Akali said she saw a vision of you and Brendan looking thick as thieves. You were friends, eh? Know what he's up to now? Brendan is dead. He died a century ago, together with his comrades in an attempt to halt the flood that they themselves set in motion. I presume you speak of the eater that took possession of his corpse. Daikonosuke, aye, but unlike most eaters, he'd been doing more than roaming about aimlessly. For some reason, he's been hunting down royal treasures of old Volbrand. And he's been killing anyone who got in his way. Is he now? What irony. Even in death, he remains a slave to duty, a knight, brave and true. He's a murderer, and I'll not hear it said otherwise. He ruined my life, killed my beloved right before my very eyes. Every night, I go to bed dreaming of the day I'll take my revenge. Oh, I see. Truly you have suffered a terrible loss, but while your thirst for vengeance is quite natural and understandable, it is ultimately misguided. Unusual behavior notwithstanding, Daikonosuke is nevertheless no more than a needer. To hate him is to hate the sea that claims the ship, the disease that steals the child, the tremor that topples the home, the mindless force of nature that begets destruction, driven by fragmented memory. Don't you dare make excuses for him. You think I wanted any of this? I grew up on a farm, I could barely wield a sword, and now I've got to kill one of the bloody cardinal virtues. Hate and anger and vengeance are all I've got now. My every waking moment is dedicated to plotting his death. It has to be. It has to be. So just tell us where this goddamn ring is, and we'll be on our way. And that is how it is to be, Who you have to be? Nay, I think not. You ask too much, demand far, far too much. In exchange for what? This I cannot abide. Are you trying to barter with me, you little shite? Tell me what I want to know, or I'll beat it out of you. Back off, Akali. I won't let anyone or anything stand between me and Melinda's murderer. Brandon was a dear friend. To know that an eater disgraces his flesh and his memory pains me more than I can well express. It would bring me great comfort if you were to grant him peace. I should like to share you a story, if you would be so kind as to join me and let behave. This had better have a point. Oh no, at the castle. Why are we here again? Tis beautiful even now, a place of forgotten dreams, but before it was Lick, it was the time of in the time of Oberyn, it was the Gruin's Licht. The memory of mine in which you walked was of a troubled time, when the people of our kingdom were preyed upon by an ambitious fool. Brandon, then a young knight who had only just won his spurs, had caught the eye of Princess Soldia, who chose him as her personal guardian. However, he was far too inexperienced, and was unable to keep her safe when she ventured outside these walls on one of her investigations. For his failure, he was stripped of his knighthood, and shortly thereafter he quit Vobert. I thought I would never see him again. But then one day he returned, one of several wandering adventures led by a man named Artbert, who had accepted our invitation to look into the mysterious transformations which had continued unabated in Brendan's absence. Lady Solia was overjoyed, and for a time it was like nothing had changed. They spoke often and grew even closer. And then came the day we learned the truth. When we learned that the architect of our kingdom's suffering was none other than the court mage Tadric. It's him, Brandon. I'm sorry. So am I. Come, let us have done with it. It was you, Tadric. Do not deny it. Tormenting our people, twisting and transforming them into monsters. And for what? Brendan. And after I took such pains to be rid of you. You may strip me of my titles, but not my oath. I shall serve Lady Solia till my dying breath. As you like. Once I have killed you and your friends, there will be no one left to stop me from claiming the throne. Hence, hear me, my children. The hour of reckoning is at hand. Rejoice, for in noble sacrifice shall you find everlasting glory. Lord Tadric, it hurts. Soon you shall know no more pain. I was going to make it quick, for old time's sake, but now I think I ought to take my time. I think I screwed up that one. Meddlesome wretch! The kingdom is mine by rights! Brandon, what is the meaning of this? Tedric, you... But why, after serving us faithfully for so many years? I am no servant, not of your mother or father or you. My lady! God damns you! Lady Saldia, speak to me. Brandon, my dear, brave Brandon, am I your princess still? Would you honor your vows, even now? Now and ever after, my lady. My sword is yours to command. That is well. Would that I had the strength to wield it myself. Still your heart, brave Brandon, and for the good of Volbert and her people. No, I cannot. I will not. Honor your vows to your kingdom, to your princess. To your friend, who never doubted you, who knew that you would return and see justice. Justice. No, it should be me. Brendan, my sword, now and ever after. We rounded up the rest of Tadric's co-conspirators and tossed them in the jail. The ones who haven't been corrupted by his magics, that is. Not hesitate again, no matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice. Well, you saw what happened. Wicked White. She begged him to do it, like Melinda. Come, let us quit this place and return to Pla Ini. We're not gonna even visit our pixie friend. She's gonna be pissed. They're gonna know that we were right outside the door and be so mad. Do you know why I entered into the royal family service many long years ago? Because when I was attacked by a wild beast which nearly tore me to shreds, it was Lady Soldia who came to my rescue. She saved me, and that is a debt that can never be repaid, for there is naught in this world which holds greater value than life itself. Not even her death absolves me of it, and so I must always first consider her wishes, her desires, what she would want for me and her kingdom, for Brendan, and yes, even for you, grandson. For me, to define oneself as opposition to the other, another bereft of complexity, of nuance, wholly devoid of redeeming qualities, a villain. Indeed, there is comfort and certainty in hatred, but it is a false and fleeting comfort, brought with lies we tell ourselves about who we are, what we must be, and what we must do. And never you mind the cost. If anything, the more we offer up in sacrifice, the better. Do you not see? Brendan was right to hesitate, to doubt. The unwavering blade cares not whom it serves, nor who it cuts. I think I need a moment. Perhaps you do as well. Leave us for now, Akali. To wear at level 79? Sure don't. That's troubling. We're done there. I think Kaluja has... I think Right's the closest. Don't look at it. Don't worry about it. No, I don't do things with gear that I should not be doing. So like, I wouldn't do a leveling roulette and risk getting Mount Gold with the gear I have. I am responsible. I always am. I would never put any healer in that situation. Especially when tanking. Not with you. All there, I cannot help but worry for Lurex's well-being. I'm sure you're a talented woman like yourself. I am sure a talented woman like yourself is needed all over the realm, and so I thank you for sparing a moment to hear me out. Since you two parted ways, Rick has come to visit me several times. Though he is blessedly in good health, I worry for his spirits. I think you may have been the only friend he has had for some time. I considered journeying to the Crystarium myself to look in on him, but I find travel rather difficult these days. If you would go in my stead, it would put my heart at ease. He's probably at the bar, right? Lurek's customary seat is empty, and there is nothing to suggest that he has occupied it recently. Perhaps someone will note his passing. Looking for Master Rek, are we? I dare say you're the only one. Word is, Mummy and Deddy cut him off, so there's no point in pretending to like the little shite anymore. Last I saw him, he was mowing about like someone had shot his Amaro. I'm sure he'll turn up eventually. Kalusia, right? You're Lurek's partner? I was with Landbird, remember? Well, I ought to stress, because after we had left you, we headed straight to Raktika. We'd heard a rumor Andrea was there, and Landbird wanted to strike while the iron was hot. By the time we realized we were overmatched, it was too late. I saw Landbird fall, and when the Eater set her sights on the others, I fled. Call me a coward if you like, but my cowardness saved my life. Wicked white, I still remember looking back as I ran and seeing Landbird rise to his feet. I told everyone what had happened, to warn them of the hunt. Some listened, but a few bloody fools took up their weapons and joined the hunt. Glory-hungry imbeciles, and not a one of them has returned. Didn't expect Lurek to be one of them neither. I remember thinking it odd, especially when I saw him leave for Raktika alone. You're meeting there, I presume. Good luck, friend, but I have no doubt that you're going to your doom. Lurek, the Misto Lordling? If he ain't sat at his usual table, then I have no idea where else to look. Come on, I was listening to Lost. This is the most pathetic cat boy I've ever seen. Akali, why are you here? Don't tell me you came for me. It's terrible, it's horrible, Andrea, she's... 'Cause, 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 Don't worry, I'm doing that thing that made you real mad. Randaray, if aught of you remains, then hearken to my words. I've come to lay your soul to rest, alone, as you yourself faced Balam Quits a century ago on this very ground. Lambert! Oh, gods, no! Oh. She recreated her friends. Don't tell me you beheld a vision of my past just now, didn't you? I thought as much. Wasn't but a moment ago that I confronted them. Awfully useful that trick of yours, though. I can't understand why you kept using it every time we ran into Andrea. I can't control when it happens. Huh? So it wasn't something you did deliberately. Good to know. Anyway, unintentional or not, at least I won't have to convince you of what I saw. She turned Lambert and those other hunters into sin eaters like herself. A hume axeman, a Galgant swordsman, a dwarven healer, an elven mage. Looked awfully similar, didn't they? She's rebuilding her fellowship. She's remaking the Warriors of Light. But for the life of me, I can't understand why. I mean, I understand why she came here in the first place. She's reliving the hunt for Balam Quits. But Randaray slew the beast herself. The stories were clear about that. What? They were there too? Then the stories were wrong? God, strike me down. I've been such a fool. Why did I ever think I could do this alone? I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me for all the things I said, Kali. I regretted my behavior ever since the day we parted ways. It was stupid and nonsensical and utterly pointless. I'm not sure I could even tell you why I did what I did. You're still upset, and you have every right to be, but I will make it up to you. I will. I don't know how or when, but I will, I swear. Alright then. Andrea should be around here somewhere. Still on the hunt for Balam Quits, I expect. Not that she'll ever find it. No doubt Lambert and the others are with her too. He and I may have had our differences, but I'd not wish that fate on my worst enemy. He deserves to be laid to rest. They all do. Randaray most of all. She is my hero. And if I have to kill her to save her soul, then so be it. But this is too much for even the best hunter to handle alone. I am far from my best. The only way to see this through is together. You and me, my friend. What say you? Huh. I asked for a word and you give me a nod. Fair enough. Before we resume the hunt in earnest, though, let us return to Gate Town and let Miss Oleria know all is well. After all, you wouldn't have come unless she sent you. I wonder if it would be faster to go to Yulmore and then teleport outside of Absolutely. Okay. Oh, either. Give me that. takes the aether currents. He just takes them. And he covets them. Akali, what a pleasure to see you again, and in the company of little Rek, no less. Am I right in assuming you've patched things up? I should like to think so, yes. And it's thanks to you. Had you not been implored to give me another chance, I might as well still be sitting alone in the swamps, dwelling on my myriad failings. And to you, my friend, I know not why you sought her out on your own, but I am glad that you did. Miss Olera is perhaps the only person who truly cares for my well-being, but she has no one to look out after her. Oh, don't be silly, Rick. I have you, don't I? Before you start blabbering about how you wish you could properly reward Akali, as I can tell you about too, I know that I have prepared a hearty meal just for her. Oh, that's very thoughtful of you. Nevertheless, I shall see you both duly compensated once we have claimed the bounty for Andrea. And claim it we shall, for united, Akali, Rek and Akali are unstoppable, is what I would like to say, but I know my own limitations better than anyone. It would be prudent to make proper preparations at this juncture. You too should see to it that you are ready for the struggle ahead. It will be a mighty one indeed, but one well worth the effort, my friend. Right. So that is all the goals I have to do. But mage still sits at 71. So we will go do our last 70 cooking quest. And I think that will be a good place to stop. Rolf is deep in thought. You'll recall Unzen's words about how Far Eastern cuisine developed without outside influence. From the moment he uttered them, they've been tugging at my mind. I've given the claim much thought, and I find myself disinclined to agree. And the basis for this is the very first Far Eastern dish I ever had, which Anzu made for me. Sukiyaki, it's called. And it's a hearty dish of meat, vegetables, simmered in a shallow pot. The moment I tasted it, I was overcome with a sense of nostalgia. Like many Alamegans, I'm a war orphan. I left my homeland when I was little and remember nothing of my time there. Nothing at all, save for the taste of a certain hearty stew, and Anzu's sukiyaki was exactly like it. The similarity can't be mere coincidence. Nay, there has to be a connection between Far Eastern and Alamegan cuisines. If I can just prove it, Anzu's father might be moved to reconsider our union. There's no guarantee, of course, but for my Anzu, it's worth a try. Now, as you can see, I'm an adventurer again, free to go wherever I want, whenever I want. And I intend to go to a village in the peak called Alagiri. In former times, it thrived as a trading hub with the East. There, I'm going to track down the stew of my memory and try to learn whether Alamego might have shared a culinary history with the Far East. You've already journeyed to the other side of the world for me, and I can't rightly ask any more of you, but if you're still willing to help me, please come to Alagiri. To Alagiri I go. You came, thank the gods. I thought the fiends in the area were fierce, but the people here might be even fiercer. But I'm ready to face them now that you are here. I can't thank you enough. Let's split up and ask the villagers about the stew. We'll meet again here when we're done. Stew? Does it look like I know anything about Swivin stews? I just eat whatever the hell's is put in front of me. Don't care much for stews, sorry. If you ask me, the only way to cook meat is to roast it to a crisp. Ugh. Meat and vegetables simmered in a shallow pot. What you describe sounds a lot like a buckler stew, a traditional Alamegan dish. It was born when soldiers in the field took to using their bucklers in place of pots, cooking meats in them with wine and various seasonings. It was popular in the past, but under imperial rule it became a rare indulgence. had no luck, Akali. No one I spoke with knew anything about my stew. Buckler stew! Yes, that was its name. Damn, but even your investigative skills are first rate. I'm happy to say, though, that my own inquiries weren't completely fruitless either. I managed to track down a fellow who's versed in history. Let's go and ask him what he knows about the trade between Alamiga and Doma. I do know some few things about our nation's history, owing to my time working at the Royal Palace. What is it that you wish to know? It is true that Alamigo traded with nations to the east prior to Imperial rule, but as far as I'm aware, this only extended as far as the Near East to Razed Han. So there was no contact between us and Doma, none at all? Not even if it is direct, there still has to be some sort of connection. For example, Razed Han could have been the waypoint for the dish. But if I want to verify this, I'm going to have to go all the way over there. I can't go to Razed Han. I don't have Endwalker yet. Perhaps you needn't go so far. There's a Hainish fellow among us who came to Eorzea years ago. You should try asking him first. I saw him heading out towards the village a short while ago. Elderly as he is, he can't have gone far. Thank you. Akali, let's go look for this man. I'm level 78. None of the mobs should bother me. Okay. Never mind. That was an assumption that I just made. There's no sign of him. Ugh, help somebody! Oh shite, he's in trouble. Sir, I only have a frying pan? I'm not gonna be able to get up here. He's gonna go all the way around. Punishes me for not having flying. Still got it. What little I had, at any rate. Would have been a stroll through the woods for you, but I can't let you do all the work. You've done more than your fair share already. Besides, I wanted to show you that I'm not completely hopeless. I owe you my life. I was focusing on my harvesting. I didn't know the Kieran coming. You look a mite pale, lad. Are you hurt? Just my bones and organs. I'm already on the mend, I assure you. More importantly, I take it you're the gentleman who came from Razed Han. I'm sorry if this seems sudden, but while you were there, did you ever hear about a dish called Buckler stew? Hear about it? I love the stuff. Ever since the traders brought it over from Alamigo, it's been an enduring favorite in my homeland. As a matter of fact, it's the reason I came to be here, though I won't bore you with the details. So it was introduced at Razed Han after all. Tell me, do you know if Buckler stew was also made its way to Doma? That it did, and it's a tale well known. A Doman merchant journeyed to Razed Han to buy spices, you see, and chanced to sample the stew. It was love at first taste. So enamored was he of it, he decided to open a restaurant back at home and started buying up all the shallow pots he could find. Alas, these pots proved too heavy to take back, and he left them all at the pier and said he'd make do with spades. Spades, you say? The name sukiyaki can be translated as spade grill, and it's said to come from the fact that you grill meat on the spade. I knew there was a connection. Sukiyaki. So that's what they call it. Well, by whatever name it's known, all this talk has given me a fierce hunger for it. There's not for it but to make some right now. You're going to make Buckler stew. Would you mind teaching me the recipe and tell me more about its spread to the Far East? You'll indulge this old man with your company. Well, if you insist, who am I to argue? Come along then, and I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I can take it from here, Kali. Leave the learning to me. I'll join you back at Reverend's Toll when I'm done. Thanks again for all your help. I love these fucked up little Kieran. Their big red spooky eyes. Ah, Kali, perfect timing. I just returned myself with the recipe for buckler stew freshly etched into my noggin. I begged Miss Rowena for the use of my old kitchen, and surprisingly she allowed it. 12 bless her. With that, I can set about making the buckler stew in order to win Anzu's father over. Here I have one last favor to ask of you, my friend. I need you to prepare a serving of domen sukiyaki. It's a relatively simple affair. Take meat and vegetables and simmer them in a broth of dashi from Far Eastern condiments. Though I need to remind you that Far Eastern cuisine can be deceptive in its simplicity. Anyway, here's all the ingredients you need, and Poppin has more set aside. My future with Anzu and as a culinarian both ride on our success. Please make me the best domen sukiyaki you can. Well, I'll fucking try. Fail. I don't know about this. Oh, we're good. Making the buckler stew is strangely comforting. The sight, the smell, even the sound, they take me back to bygone days. But to get back to the present day, how's that domen sukiyaki coming along? Well, a mere waft is enough. The Estinian, I had no idea what was going on behind this man. It's just a stick. He's just jumping. Well, a mere waft is enough to tell me that. It's just spinning all over the place. Is enough to tell me that sukiyaki is in a class of its own, and my buckler stew is ready as it'll ever be. Come, let us serve them to Anzu and her father on the terrace. Is this a joke? In our culture, sukiyaki is shared between family and dear friends. You are neither. If you think this will win my favor, you are sadly mistaken. Now, please, if you allow me to explain. Akali made the sukiyaki, while I made a different type of stew. Different, I say, however. Why, what is this? It resembles sukiyaki, yet it appears not to be Far Eastern. That's because it's a traditional Alamegan stew. If it please you, please sample and compare it with the sukiyaki. I know, I'm starving now. I have not had ramen in like so long. An Alamegan stew, you say? I know now what you're playing at, but the aroma is undeniably appetizing. Oh, very well. Kami, not only do they look alike, but they also taste alike. But the ingredients, they are different, are they not? You're right, Father. There may be subtle differences, but no matter how you look at it, this stew is sukiyaki. What is the meaning of this? Did sukiyaki somehow find its way to Alamigo? No, Unzen-san. It is the opposite. It's the Alamigan dish, buckler stew, that found its way to the Far East and eventually became sukiyaki. Though Alamiga and Doman had no common history, they had a common training partner in the Near East. Originating in my homeland, buckler stew first crossed the seas to Razet-Han, and from there it crossed the seas once more to Doma, where it was recreated using local ingredients to become sukiyaki. It must be noted that this took place at a relatively recent period in Doma's long history. Up to that point, meat was predominantly grilled to harness their natural flavors, or minced and used in dumplings. While stews weren't uncommon, they may be reserved mainly for seafood, but with sukiyaki's arrival, new possibilities blossomed for meat dishes. Father, you told me that Far Eastern cuisine owes its greatness to the fact that it developed free of outside influence, but it owes its greatness no less to what it adopted from other cultures. Why are you still standing there? Sit down and join us ere the food gets cold. I want ramen so bad. I miss ramen so much. I miss like going down to the restaurants and having myself a noodle. Oh. I don't know how I'll ever repay you, Akali. Thanks to you, I've managed to do the impossible and win over Unzen. He finally approves of me and Anzu, and we plan to be bonded at the earliest opportunity. I'm going to resume my post at the cafe, serving Far Eastern dishes, of course, and hang up my adventurer's hat for good. I suppose you'll continue both adventuring and cooking, and I don't doubt you'll keep on succeeding at both, but no matter how high you climb, or how far you roam, know that you're always welcome here. Oh, hell yeah. I don't know which one will be more important in the future. Probably CP. Oh, I get all three. Never mind. $12 million XP? What? That's absurd. Well. This is, yeah, the main cooking quest. That was the end of the Stormblood cooking quest. And we will open up this. I believe I can open up this, and then move on. Hello, I am finally here to do job. The work of the crystalline mean is never done, and Catless is ever on the lookout for skilled hands. You look like you've got the skills of the sort we need. Would you be interested in putting them to use in the mean? Wonderful. We can never have enough hands to do all the work that wants doing. To help get you started, I'll give you an overview of our operations. Just let me know when you have a moment. Ready to learn about our operations? Good, good. So, as I have already told you, the crystalline mean is the center for our procurement and production of those items that will make city life possible. From daily necessities to military provisions, we deal in just about anything. A storehouse and workshop rolled into one we are. Now that the mean is composed... Now the mean is composed of 5 facets that are a fancy name for divisions. Each facet is a collective of folk skilled in certain fields who work together to provide for the Crystarium. Firstly, there's the facet of forging. I need to take a sippy. I'm absolutely perishing for reasons that I cannot comprehend. Firstly, there's the facet of forging. As you can probably glean from the name, its members are experts in metalworking. The woman you see there is Iola, the proprietress of the Iron Bellows. I'm told she's been sorely pressed for help lately. Next, we have the facet of crafting, which brings together artisans who work with leather, cloth, and wood. Oh, shit. It's blacksmith, armor, goldsmith, leather, cloth, wood, alchemy and cooking, gathering and mining and fishing. No, I'm good. Okay. I was like, please don't tell me. Please don't tell me I forgot to level 1. Among them, there's even a lass who specializes in the restoration of artwork and traditional handicrafts. She doesn't appear to be present at the moment, though. Moving on, we have the facet of nourishing, whose mission is to ensure that our denizens are fed and healthy. And I speak not only of the people. Bethric there is the resident veterinarian, and he's charged with looking out for our trusty Amaro. Yeah. There's the facet of gathering, formed of miners and botanists who procure resources all across Norvrand. Overseeing the group is Keshire, a knowledgeable, if eccentric woman, if you have an inquiring mind like her, though I dare say you'll get along. And last but not least is the facet of fishing. Aside from reeling in the bounty of the realm's waters, members also cultivate marine life. Frederick there speaks of for the gathering, and whatever folk may say of his leadership, none can doubt his skills and knowledge as a fisher. And that's the 5 facets of the crystalline mean. Under the direction of the Settlement Council, each does its part to ensure the survival of the Crystarium. Well, that's the idea, at any rate. The reality is that most facet members are individuals with individual interests. They're often busy with their own endeavors, and can't always make a meaningful contribution to the common cause. What this means is the mean suffers from a chronic shortage of hands, and every facet is always looking to bolster its rooster with new talent. I encourage you to make yourself known to whichever one is a fit for your skills. The final quest, you get a special quest if you have done all of these, is also very, very good, which is what I am trying to do, just to see it. So I have leveled on my alt. I'll probably abandon Carpenter now that I don't need it, because Weaver suits the same thing. So we've got, I'll probably abandon, now that Alchemist is at 70, I can also abandon Alchemist. So Culinarian, Weaver, Goldsmith, Botanist, Fisher. So I have a long way to go, but I should be able to get us there in good time. Upon completing this quest, you'll be able to undertake Crystarium deliveries for the facet of nourishing. You must be a culinarian or an alchemist of level 70 or above to proceed. Belthric has caught the scent of something fragrant coming from your general direction. What a pleasant aroma! Pray forgive me. I couldn't help but notice the fragrance of herbs and spices about you. Are you by chance a culinarian? So you're the guest I've heard so much about. I had no idea you were an artisan. No doubt of the highest order to keep company with the Crystal Exarch. That is such an honor. Goodness me, where are my manners? My name is Bethric, resident veterinarian, and overseer of the facet of nourishing. Now, I know what you're thinking. There is no way this grisly monster of a man is fit to handle animals, but you'd be wrong. In fact, my scars only came from handling the Amaro. Don't let their docile appearance fool you. They can be quite feisty. Speaking of which, I have a patient due for examination. Would you care to join me? I won't twist your arm on the matter, but if you've a mind to humor me, you can find me over at the Amaro launch. I know, this one's really good. They're all pretty good. The mining and botany one is really, really good too. So curiosity got the better of you, eh? The poor girl was hurt transporting cargo, and her sadly misguided owner let her wounds get infected. I insisted she stay here until she's made a full recovery. Now then, let's have a look at you. The swelling's down, and so is the inflammation. A few more days and you should be fit to fly again. She's by far the sweetest animal I've ever had the pleasure of caring for, and she loves to be pet. Why don't you come closer and see for yourself? Oh, come now. How can you say no to those starry eyes and that come hither and pet me snout? Go on, she won't bite. Oh, do I get to do a pet? The injured Amaro looks at you longingly. Perhaps petting her, as Bethrick suggests, will soothe her. Oh, I do a pet. My word, I've never seen her take to a stranger so quickly. Why, it's as if you touched her very soul. You've a knack for caretaking. Amaro so good. It calls to mind a gift the Amaro was said to possess long ago. As you've no doubt noticed, the Amaros serve as steeds for transport and the delivery of goods, much like chocobos. The key difference between them, however, is the Amaro were born of magic. A variety of lizards enchanted by mages in the days of the Ronkan Empire, refined further into what we know as the Amaro through selective breeding. These arcane magics allowed them to sense the souls of their masters and even speak. Alas, when the Empire fell, the technique used in raising the Amaro were lost. And while they no longer possess their preternatural abilities of old, they've regained the ability to fly. Oh, what I wouldn't give to chase the wind and touch the sky. To be an Amaro! There's no finer animal in all of creation. To be born as a majestic Amaro would be a blessing. Of course, I understand if you do not share my enthusiasm. There you are. I've been looking all over for you. Lysana, what a pleasant surprise. Finally come for that lecture on Amaro taxonomy? I have no time for your babble of animal facts. You're needed at the stable. An Amaro has been brought in from the fields, and it seems to be ill. We fear it may be poison. Poison? I'll be there at once. If the situation is as dire as it seems, I may have need of your assistance. Please say you'll come with me. Just do a big hug. Holy shit. I don't know if you were there at the time, Koji. I don't actually think you were. But Yak and Zokara went off on a snail animal fact rave for it wasn't that long. But those two are going to be an absolute menace to society. We will Yeah. Yeah, they just I learned so much unwilling information about snails. Everything I just learned about snails was completely against my will. You're here, good. I've just finished a cursory examination. Jesus. I'm gonna close chat. Outerworldly, he shows no signs of severe injury, but he has indeed been poisoned. Judging by his breathing, it's already caused inflammation of his windpipe. We must hurry and identify the toxin. Who would do such a thing? Poachers. They've been hunting Amaro, cutting out their tongues and leaving them to die on our doorstep for some time now. We've increased our patrols of the perimeter, but they've proven more resourceful than we thought. No! At least this time we succeeded in denying them their prize. Yak has been censored. And for that, we are grateful, but we must act quickly. Bethric, I leave him in your capable hands. Bethric, is everything alright? I know. Oh, yes, of course. Only the poachers used poison-laced feed bearing a striking resemblance to our stores. The Amaro likely believed they were from the Crystarium. He trusted them, and they took advantage of his innocence. Would that I could make them see the error of their ways, but I fear such wicked hearts are beyond reason. I can but try and undo the damage they've caused. And to do that, I would ask your assistance. Come, there is no time to waste. Oh, poor baby. I give you pet. Thank you for coming. Identified the poacher's poison. However, procuring an antidote will prove to be a much more delicate process than I was expecting. You see, this Amaro is of a different breed than those I'm accustomed to caring for. All those you've seen here in the Crystarium are greytails. Our patient, however, is a Berber skipper from a region long since lost to the flood. Under normal circumstances, I would be beside myself with excitement. He may very well be the last of his kind. Meaning, there can be no room for error in preparation of this antidote. The task calls for an artisan of surpassing skill, one who understands the heart of these blessed creatures. Kali, I believe this is why fate guided your steps to me. I beg of you, help me save this Amaro. I knew I could count on you. Based on his blood work and my knowledge of greytail physiology, I've put together a list of ingredients that should produce a rather potent antidote. The rest falls to you. Here comes Yak to menace me with animal. Facet of nourishing deliveries are now available. By delivering the requested items to Bethric and raising yourself in his esteem, you can advance the story of his quest to save the animal. I do want to save the animal. Thankfully, the injuries he sustained were minor. The poison, however, is another matter entirely. It has to be flushed out of his system, and soon. Holy beans. Okay. I need to make many. Okay. Oh. Sir. You're not just gonna give me the ingredients like in Stormblood? We'll save the Amaro on Tuesday. You don't have to. It's okay. I think I have these on Casa at the very least. I probably don't have antidotes on Casa. I have it up. It's gonna take a second. I don't even know if I'll be able to do it good. Although I don't think it matters. I think you can turn in the normal ones, but the high quality ones will give the better EXP. I need to make 6 of these. Alphino. I spotted a boy. For a blessing, the Crystarium citizens have shown no signs of panic in the wake of the star shower. Just only the initial shock that distressed them, I think. Indeed, some have even worked out that it was an illusion without needing to be told, whether they held the same suspicions about the Warrior of Light and his message. Where did Yak go? There was a bell right here. I will just type it in the chat. It looks to be just one of each. My bags are a living nightmare. Oh shit. So many. Thank you, Yak. Let's see. Oh, not that button. Easy. I know, crafting's very exciting. That's why we're gonna have a whole week of it while I level my gunner classes. Very excited. We look forward to it. The crafting stories are very cute, though. Oh no, I did it. I didn't think I would do it. I didn't think it would finish. Okay. I remember when crafting skills, even the basic one, this one, the basic synthesis, the basic skill you could do, had only a 90% chance success rate. Everything you did was to increase your success rate. Just absolute nonsense. I probably still have old, like, Google Docs of rotations and whatnot. Because it used to be so much harder than it is. Almost done. There also used to be two versions of Master's Bend. There used to be one that cost, I think, only 40, and it restored, I think, 40 durability. And then the 81 restored, like, I think it was 6 or 7 steps. And then they gave us one Master Mend that costs the highest and gives the lowest. It's like, thank you. Thank you, Hershey Pete. And then there was another ability. It was called Reuse. And if you used Reuse, you had a chance to get the very first item on your list back. Well, I don't think I have any classes that have the master recipes, but so any primal housing item or thing you made, the very first item on the list is the special primal item. So Suzaku's feathers, Steryu's scales, Titania's butterflies. So you had a chance of getting those super rare items back, and that lasted through one patch cycle, and they took it away. It looks like Skip is going to pull through, and it's all thanks to you. If you weren't here for that, were you? He may reside here at the Crystarium for some time, and we thought it best to give him a name. Being a skipper from the Barub region, we thought Skip to be a suitable moniker. We're not quite out of the woods yet, but if we continue treatments, the poison should be gone from his system soon enough. Though I must say, I did not expect you to be such an accomplished apothecary. Indeed, the antidote's effectiveness has exceeded all my expectations. In my experience, such exemplary work only comes from one deeply concerned for the well-being of their patients, and it certainly shows here. Truly, you are an inspiration. Would that I had met you in my youth. Perhaps then I could have... or perhaps not. Pay no mind to the ramblings of the past. We can but focus on the present, that being the recovery of our dear Skip. Matcha. I am now an Amaro enthusiast. Bethrick is pleased with your efforts, and he now considers you an Amaro enthusiast. That's me. Oh, poor baby. Alright, and we will do the best, because now we got ourselves to the 3-hour mark, so that's very good. We will do the rest of these probably on Tuesday. So we're going to hold off on doing patch 5.3, as I said, until I can catch up with the role quests, and we're almost there, some of us more there than others. So regardless if I make it there or not, we will continue the main story quest on Saturday, hopefully sooner, but Saturday's the last day I'll give myself to do the big catch-up. And since Endwalker has been postponed, we have the time to sort of fuss with all that. And we will be doing crafter quests on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so Culinarian, Alchemist, and then these as well. So You get to see me mine 99 rocks. Or no, I guess it'll be harvesting 99 dark matter. That's a very exciting best quest. Best gathering quest there. Just watch me do that for a solid 10 minutes. But thank you so much for being here, and thank you to Sue and the Yak who have helped out and got me goods and co-healed by my side as I called out EX mechanics that were not accurate. Because I simply don't remember. It's been very lovely. I am off tomorrow, but I will be back on Tuesday at 2 p.m. EST with a new game. We're playing Spiritfarer in the early afternoons and more Final Fantasy at 6 p.m. EST in the evenings. Don't forget, I saw people checking their stars earlier, but don't forget to check your stars. The raffle will be on December 2nd, where you can win a $25 Mog Station, up to a $25 Mog Station item, or a $25 gift card on Steam. And then the moment Endwalker drops, which will be the 3rd, I guess, for early access, that will be all the stars get reset, and you will be saving up for the Warrior of Light dolls, which I do Kafka. Not right now. Which should be this. Or is it not going to show? It's just not going to show the picture. Oh no, that's my witch hat. We don't need that. That's still up there. Oh, there they are. So the Warrior of Light dolls. And you can do your own Warrior of Light, or you can do an NPC. We do it all in this house. So it's whatever suits your fancy. So there's Q's Warrior of Light. She looks like me. Yeah, so Lalafell's, yours, Mikote's. I do not have an example of a Rogadin or a Hrothgar, but we will do those as well. Otherwise, best of luck to all of you. The Warrior of Light raffle starts on the 3rd, when Endwalker early access happens. But I hope you all have a very, very lovely, lovely evening, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye!